I like this. I like this. I'm gonna watch this. One anime hater versus 20 anime fans. Something about this guy's face doesn't look like a hater though. He doesn't look like an anime hater. He looks like he loves Attack on Titan.
And welcome, 20 anime lovers versus one anime hater. I think anime is for kids. Let's say it like that.
I hate this argument so much. What makes anime for kids? The color, the exaggerated, the theatrics, the dramaticism. Is that a word? I'm gonna look it up. I know what I'm trying to say, but I don't know if that's the word. Yeah, dramatized. It is a word. Maybe that could be childish, because overall it is animated, and animated alone would make it childish. Maybe. Something I can think of.
I'm already really intimidated looking into your eyes. How can anime be for kids if there's lots of boobs in it?
Oh.
Yep. Come on, guys.
I guess it's kind of valid. I don't know a single kid show where there's a rack anywhere, actually. It better not be.
Guys,
Everything's tasteful.
That was good.
I think you got me on that one. I don't think we want kids seeing boobs, right?
3, 2, 1.
That's some jeans.
Max, nice to meet you.
Hentai.
Whoa!
It's hentai for kids.
That's so far
Hentai
left.
for kids.
Is hentai anime?
Hentai is anime.
That's not a good argument though, because if you've explored that side of the internet, you could find cartoon characters in that same field. Because people are weird. Don't ask how I know. I'm skipping this. I never said anything. That's not fair. That's not a good argument though. I thought he was gonna say something intellectual.
The question is it for kids? 3, 2, 1.
You guys looking back. Come on, man.
Yes. All right, what's your name?
My name is Reed. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
I have to disagree with you.
Oh, that's an
first of all,
Evangelion
because
shirt.
A lot of anime are made
Not
at
a lot
an
of people know about
intellectual
that,
level that is
ironically.
not for kids at all. Evangelion, for example, not for children in its themes.
Yeah, so it's difficult to define an entire genre as content that is just childish, right? And I'm not trying to make that argument with anime.
No,
I
I
think
don't
you can
think you
take
are.
content from anything that's not live action.
Oh, he just needed
that's
a
stop
catch,
motion,
grab,
that's
question, or
animated,
statement.
And say there's some that's for kids and some that's not for kids, based on the content itself.
Is there anime for kids?
My argument is
Is there anime for kids? I mean, I know there's some like anime that doesn't have vulgar situations in it, but is there Yu-Gi-Oh? I guess, yeah. There's some stuff I ain't even seen before. Sonic's on here, Legends of Korra's on here, Jackie Chan's on here. I remember those. I Choose You. That's Pokemon. This list is buns. It's just like stuff you grew up on, like Digimon, Ponyo, Beyblade. Those aren't even real anime. I guess they technically are. What is Drifting Home? Totally Spies? Is that anime? I thought that was a cartoon.
less so about the storylines
Dang.
and plots, and less so the way anime presents itself
So
as
more
media.
about the physical, like.
Well, right,
what you're
because
seeing.
my argument is that anime is very overly stimulating and appealing to the eye when you look at the way characters present themselves and the way the
Okay.
visuals are. And I think that something like that, that's so stimulating, is much more easy and catching to a child's brain. It's something that is there for a child to pay attention to and be stimulated by in a way that someone who's older as an adult can give more knowledge to.
That's clearly not true, though. If there's so many people on the planet who like it, at the end of the day, say anime is for kids, most adults are just kids at heart. Almost all adults are just kids at heart. They all have their own thing, whether it be sports, video games, animated cartoons. I actually do watch cartoons, like Regular Show, Amazing World of Gumball, Adventure Time, Steven Universe, not one of my favorites. So if it is for kids, adults are kids. And adults don't necessarily like boring movies. You know how many times people fall asleep during movies? Some people can't even stay up during a whole 2-hour movie.
To an actual plot.
I think
line
adults need it
might
too. I
not
think everybody
care
needs
about
it.
that. And for that
Stimulus.
reason, I think it's childish.
So you think that more of the visual, the color representation, and more like from the
Childish
art
might be a
phase
better
is
word
what
than
is causing
for
it?
kids.
Because
Okay.
adults don't need that. But
Okay.
but kids will get into that more so, and
Okay.
it'll keep them hooked.
I
don't know if that's
I
true.
raise you on that.
Well, then you could say that you can have that same argument for people who collect figures. Those are for kids too. Same argument for basically anything that's not super mature that adults enjoy. You can say it's all for kids. Is a figure a toy?
I raise you on that because there's also things, think of like, if you were to put a show on for a kid, they're more likely to enjoy like a Marvel movie than if you put on, say, just because it's right here, Evangelion, because a lot of shows are slow starters.
Evangelion
then-
is definitely an adult anime for sure.
Yeah. Nah, we're good.
It's
I'm
dark,
The
it's
animation
gloomy.
is
Sad story.
there for a reason, but in not all
The animation's not even super
aspects
colorful
of it
and
are
pretty.
there to present to children. Like there are more not like sexualized art styles, but there are more mature art styles that
Yeah.
aren't necessarily made to appeal to kids. Like the Junji Ito series that they did is very
Yeah, I
art
didn't even know that
based
was
and
called
not
that,
more
but I've seen that before.
on that kind of way.
I'm gonna get that girl right there tatted.
Junji Ito series that they
This one. Maybe I should watch it though before that.
did is very art based and not more on that kind of wave. Or there's like Project Ito's works are very more adult themed and more adult like animated at like a higher level that's not made to appeal to children, or even shows that
She's
aren't
cooking.
done in a color grade that would even appeal to people with shorter attention
Of course,
spans.
and I think there are plenty of examples throughout the genre where you're going to find different levels
Why does he think that? Because he watches it.
of artistic representation.
He watches.
But my point is, when you look at children's shows across the boards, oftentimes we're not looking at just plain old live action shows, right? There's something there, whether it's the outfits or the animations or the color, right? That is a very common trope we see
Nah,
in shows
he-
throughout media.
Nah, he's yapping right now. Because it do not be colorful and cute. Look at what bro's wearing right now. He's wearing a hoodie and a t-shirt. This doesn't look like a kid's anime. This doesn't look like a kid's show. In most animes, people die. I'm surprised no one brought that up yet. Maybe that's the next statement. This doesn't look like a kid's show. You know what does? This looks like a kid's show. One Piece looks like a kid's show, so I can't even use that as an example. But it's getting dark now that it's coming to an end. I just feel like there's a clear difference. Right? Or am I glazing? Hey, Auntie. Can I ask your opinion? That looks like a kid's show, don't it? Versus this.
Which one look like a kid show? This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does this one look like a kid's show?
No, not to me.
Right? It just doesn't, something about it doesn't give a child, right?
No. That does.
Right!
And that is
Boom.
something that is consistent throughout the entire genre of anime.
Not true.
Which is why
We'd have to agree to
it's
disagree.
easier for kids.
Pause. That's 10 flags.
All right, thank you.
She had the most valid argument, though. But no one's brought up death yet.
3, 2, 1.
Okay.
What's your name, by the way?
Manny.
Manny?
He didn't know how
Nice
intense it was going to be. He had to go.
Going to what I was hearing earlier about outfits. So a lot of the times, if it's not, of course, like clearly so, like weirdly.
Oh,
like,
the outfits is very wrong. This is Jinwoo's very exaggerated outfit. Very exaggerated outfit. Very exaggerated.
over-sexualized stuff that kind of comes up here and there with like really revealing.
Right, I think
outfits.
we can both agree that over-sexuality in anime is not for children at all. I'm not here to say that that's
Precisely.
for kids. Let's make that very clear, everyone.
Right.
We know, we
But
know, we
certain
know.
exaggerated clothing, kind of like.
I mean,
maybe like My
not
Hero,
everybody.
Like a bunch of crazy
Don't shoot my
outfits
bad.
that kind of show up with their powers and stuff like that, right? Part of like a more mature.
My
side of
Hero
what's going-
is the worst example. Is the worst example of an anime that's not for kids. I think My Hero is one of the animes that actually could be for kids.
on in these shows. Not to say that that one is,
That's
but
like-
a good example to say that there are
No.
media that have like.
I mean, it gets
plain
pretty dark
clothing
towards the end,
styles
but-
and a more deeper.
That's a
hidden
very
meaning
childish
behind these
one.
plots. I like to give the manga Goodnight Poon Poon a good example. Things like that, which is not made for children for sure. The reason why it's not for kids is because
I've seen that manga before.
story kind of depicts many of these kind of
What is he wearing?
ideologies in a really like bizarre way. More so kind of like internal trauma, like a lot of profanity, violence, themes of assault,
Yeah.
which of course should not be displayed in any way to a child.
Right.
Its target audience not only being for adults, because it's not a book made for kids, clearly.
Sure.
Even when you go to a Barnes & Noble, you'll see it sealed up with a plastic because
So,
there are things in it that you don't
Just
want
out
for
of
kids.
curiosity, what do you think is more traumatizing and harmful to a
Pause.
child?
That's 10.
Okay.
Can we finish?
Okay. Sure.
I'm not here to argue that those are concepts that children should be exposed to a lot, or that are even for kids, right?
Right.
But what I will say is that anime as a
Yeah, what place is that?
genre is confined to its
Let me finish this
artistic
video.
expression, the way it's visually presented, right? And I guess I would ask you then, if you had to pick your child to see a violent act being performed on someone, or whatever inappropriate thing it is, would you rather have your child see that from live action cinema or from an anime?
Neither.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Real life, by the way.
Neither. Neither. That's the point. It's not for kids. That's my point. Next argument. Oh no, keep going.
I used to play basketball.
Max,
Misha.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Yes, anime, as depicted in mainstream media, is very childlike, but that's because the mainstream media, like the anime that is being shown to a lot of people, is from specifically the shonen or the shoujo aspect, the genres, which are made for children. Sho means like smaller.
Sure.
Nen means like boy. Jo means girl. So smaller boys. Like anime is meant for smaller, younger individuals, younger men or younger like girls, right? But also animation in American like styles are also having those sense of genres too. My Little Pony is made for like younger girls, and then we also have
Okay,
like
she's
Clarence
cooking, she's
or like
cooking.
The Amazing World of Gumball made
She's
for
cooking.
younger male individuals,
Yes.
audiences.
Right.
There are still topics that are being depicted in anime that are not made for children, which are not
in Western animes or
in Japanese animes too. But storylines across.
In Western anime, the same. There's stuff like Samurai Jack. That's not a kid show. There's literally like Cow and Chicken. That's freaking weird. There's like boring stuff, dude. There's boring stuff that's animated.
Both,
I can't think of anything because I don't
across
watch
the
it. I don't
world,
like it.
Sure.
can
Except
be
Samurai Jack.
not
Samurai
meant for
Jack was fire.
children. So to say that anime is specifically meant for children,
Let me actually look. There's like and then there's Adult Swim. And then in Adult Swim was Toonami. Toonami comes on. Ooh, that's a valid argument. Toonami comes on at midnight after Adult Swim. For adults. Boom!
or is for kids, I don't think is a very accurate nomination of anime as a art form.
Look, anime is about
Check me out.
storytelling.
Check me out. Cartoons for adults. We got Boondocks on here. We got King of the Hill on here. We got Bob's Burgers, Futurama, Family Guy. Oh my God, Aqua Teen, Hunger Force, Solar Opposites. What's that other one? It's in my head. It's one of my favorite cartoons of all time for adults. Rick and Morty. I already said Bob's Burgers. The Simpsons, South Park, Big Mouth. I didn't like that show, but that Disenchantment. Boondocks is at the top of that list for sure for me.
And I wholeheartedly agree with you that anime as an art form can have deeper meanings that
Shouldn't
are
have
not
my
for
page?
kids within the literature, right? But I think you even agreed with yourself in there that anime as a medium of art can show children and expose children things in a way that's maybe easier and less inappropriate.
That's not
than
what she said at all.
I think we can all agree that seeing someone have their head cut off
That's not what she
in
said at
a
all.
cartoon is much more childish or for children than having them have that happen in a live action film. And look, I'm
No,
not here to say that-
don't shake your head to agree what he's saying. He's saying that kids could watch people die as long as it's animated. That's what he just said. No, it's the contents that's inappropriate, not the art style that's inappropriate. It's the contents of the things that's happening in the art style. Oh no, she folded so fast.
Anime can
It's because he's wearing a suit. It's the
never
suit.
express
That's the suit
real
effect.
meaning in a story that resonates
Makes
with
him sound
adults too.
intelligent.
But the inherent nature of the art form is childish if we're going to be showing these overly
No.
stimulating images that maybe are easier for a child to
Disagree. You
engage
can
with
watch
than
an
adults.
overly stimulated image that isn't animated at all. Any Marvel movie. Fantastic Four. Kids went to go see that. I disagree 100%. You can watch something that's colorful and loud and childish that's not animated as well. Like, oh my god. Like, oh my god, tell me if anybody remembers this, bro. Yo, this is for kids, bro. There's a difference. There's a difference, bro. Where he's coming from, I just don't agree with it yet.
What's up, Max?
I don't think
This is
anybody's
Lovely
fighting
Girl.
a
Guys, Max,
proper
great
cause
friend of
here.
mine from high school. You know, love him, but his whole point is just inherently flawed. So your main point
So that's his friend. They watch anime together, bro. He watches Attack on Titan, bro.
was that if you were to choose what your kid to watch for animation, getting beheaded, or live action, you choose animation, right?
Sure.
Well, that
It's
completely
not, I don't
doesn't-
want to say that's my main point, but it's a
That-
point.
that- I would say that was your main point, which it does kind of make sense. Of course, I'd want my kid to watch the animation rather than the live action, but I wouldn't show them either. So why is
That
it
was
just
your main point,
inherently
buddy.
more for kids if I'm watching the animation? That doesn't make sense. Does it make sense?
Well, the point I
Kids animation rather than the live action, but I wouldn't show them either. So why is it just inherently more for kids if I'm watching the animation? That doesn't
Right.
make sense.
Okay, I hear what you're
Makes
saying.
sense.
Right. Tell
The
him.
point I made is that something that is animated is less traumatizing to a
Okay.
child than it
No,
would be
it's
a live action.
not. It's really not. It's worse. It's worse. It's inherently worse.
Okay.
Which inherently makes it
No.
more childish, more
Okay.
for kids.
I highly
right?
I highly disagree with you. If I
Highly
showed my kid
disagree.
Berserk, would they not be traumatized from that?
I'm
Does
not
that make
familiar
sense?
with Berserk.
Well,
Talk about it.
Okay, well then maybe you should get more familiarized. Is that the right word? Get more familiar, dog. Because that doesn't make sense.
I don't need to
I'm
spend my time
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Berserk is
exactly.
dark. The kid wouldn't even know what was going on. He would
That's
just
what
be
I'm saying.
crying.
Your point does not inherently make any sense. Of course, I do agree with you. Anime was maybe inherently made for kids, but that doesn't mean adults
Okay,
don't
but
watch
to
anime.
describe,
Love it.
describe Berserk to me, Gianni.
I don't want to, just for the sake of getting demonetized. I don't want to.
Thank you.
And of course, as my great friend Matt brought up, the interesting niche of anime that begins with an H, that is also inherently not for kids. So while I do agree with you, anime in general maybe might be more catered towards children, as
No, it's not.
you were saying, like shonen, what we're saying it was made for kids. There's so much other.
That describes my argument, Gianni.
Okay,
right?
yeah, of course.
Of course. You go through kid TV shows, right? I mean, there's kid TV shows that are animated in America that are Western shows, right? But I don't think anyone's gonna go and say Family Guy is for kids, right?
No,
it's not.
disagree.
And it's the same thing applies to anime.
Okay.
But overall,
So then, what is his argument, and why is everybody just nodding their head? Because he just answered his own thing. Most, I would say, a good 80-90%. Even scrolling through that list of animes that was for kids, it was a small list, and some of them I thought were just childhood cartoons. If you look, more often than not, are they for adults than kids? So I don't know what his argument is. Imagine if cartoons consisted of more Family Guy related TV shows than anything else. Then it wouldn't be enjoyable. End of discussion.
Okay.
as a genre, compared to live action media, and even the way the images are presented in the
See, and that'd be my argument, is if you're gonna use Family Guy as a reference, more animes closer to Family Guy than not. That's what I'm saying. Even though Family Guy's really racist, and it's really, I know the context of it is completely different, but as far as it being for adults, more animes for adults than for children. Way more.
art. is
Even the ones with a child as a main character, it's not for children. Like that family is that Spy Family show. It's not for children. People die.
Okay.
It's more childish.
Okay, maybe you could say it's more childish. Doesn't mean it's for children, and I think it's just an immature view to have if you're saying people who love anime are watching a kids show. How does that make sense to you?
I
I don't think
agree.
people who love anime are often watching kids shows, but I think if you're gonna make a show and you want to make it for kids, it's a hell of a lot easier to make it for kids if you're gonna make it animated versus live action.
So his argument is animation is for kids and live action is for adults. Is what he's saying. That's what it sounds like.
Okay, I agree with that, but again, with my Berserk argument, does that make it?
I'm
for
not.
kids
No,
just
I'm
'cause
not
live
showing my
action?
kids Berserk if that's what you're trying to.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. But I think.
But I'm also not letting my kids watch like Stewie Griffin like talk with Brian about all the things they say. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. But then you inherently agree with us that anime is not just made for kids. I think that's what we're all.
My argument
here,
is not that,
it's not just
every
made for
single
kids.
anime is for kids.
Okay.
My argument is
Okay.
that the art style that anime presents itself in is more childish
Okay.
and therefore lends it to be more for kids
That's his argument, but that's not what the statement above him says, so he's wrong.
than live action media.
Okay, well, I could come to an agreement with that statement. That sure, I think you changed up your argument a little bit though. That sure,
I think I
the
made that
animation
pretty
is
clear
more.
from the beginning, Johnny. I think I made that pretty clear when I talked to her.
Bro, I was going, bro. I was going. All right, good. Hey, good go. Dude, I was going crazy.
Anime is over sexualized.
Okay.
Yeah, just you this time. Also,
It
you
is.
Get to grab the mic.
It is.
Greetings.
Greetings. What's your name?
CC.
Especially when it comes to women.
Nice to meet you. Okay, so the prompt is
Not
that
all the
anime is
time, but
over-sexualized.
yeah.
Yes, I think anime is over sexualized.
Yeah, can you explain that? Or just like,
So how was anime over sexualized, but it's also only for kids? Those are two counter arguments. They're on the they're polar opposite now.
it's like just a summary.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
stupid.
I think if you look across
I hate this
the
already.
genre of anime, not even including hentai, you see a lot of not only just animations that focus on the female body and the way it presents itself to
I don't know what
engage
anime they be
viewers,
watching. I don't really see any of
but
that.
also a frightening amount of
I'm a shonen
over-sexualization of
demon.
children, which I think is problematic for the genre.
Even in the
overall.
rom-coms, it's
I
not
do
like
agree
that.
with the children aspect of it. I think sexualization in children is just wrong. I don't think necessarily that like sexualization in anime is particularly bad if it's tasteful. Like
JJK, mhm.
like I feel like they kind of appeal to the female gaze a little bit. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is not really sexualized at all. Psychopaths, not really sexualized at all. Attack on Titan, there might be like little bits of it for the female gaze, but and these are all I would feel like mainstream animes.
Bleach.
I just think it's like a perspective thing. Like you kind of just have to like
There's a couple
turn your
of.
perspective into
Maybe not.
like animes that aren't doing that. There are animes like High School DxD, but then like that's the point of the anime. There are like animes where like the genre is like I'm gonna bounce my titties and shake my booty, you know what I mean? But like,
She good.
Does that happen in mainstream storytelling though?
No.
I don't
but
think
it
that
doesn't
happens.
happen necessarily in like mainstream anime. Like I don't think like in Attack on Titan, like My Hero Academia, like they're not like bouncing their titties. Like Attack on, like did I say Attack on?
Yeah, no, you said what you call it, My Hero Academia. There is specifically a scene that is burnt into everyone's mind. Oh my god. Oh my gosh.
Like
Look.
a lot of like but there's nothing wrong with that if it's tasteful. I think if like someone is dying and all of a sudden she's like bouncing her titties and stuff like that, that's like distasteful. But if it's like, like there's nothing wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong with it as long as it's tasteful and it's for adults and it's not minors.
All right, flags.
Wait, everyone got scared when I like started like mentioned like ass shaking.
You made some good points, but I guess not everyone else thinks that. So goodbye.
They don't know what they're talking about.
3, 2, 1.
Hello.
You spank his butt.
You got a mic? You mic'd up?
Yeah, I'm mic'd up.
All right. Well,
So I actually,
Max, by the way.
we don't need to do the handshakes. All right. So look, I actually think anime is under-sexualized, but you want to know why? Wait, no. Let me finish. Put your hand
Do
up,
not
put your
approve
hand
this
up,
message.
Put your hand up. Let me cook. No, let me cook. Okay, I will. My one point, okay, is look, like Cece said, there's you can sexualize both sides, right? Boom, whatever.
Yeah.
But since like 2005, there's this genre, right? It's called the ecchi genre, which means wait, guys, please. I didn't even get to argue with y'all. Give me a chance.
Please go to the table in 3, 2.
Hold on. Let me fix this. All right.
Why did it look like Kuma's?
All right. Matt, good to see you again.
Again?
All right.
Hentai.
You got a mic?
I disagree because I think out of everyone here, I have a pretty Western view of anime. I watch dub.
What is Western view of anime mean?
I watch dub. I watch dub. I'm new to anime, right? I will say, Hollywood is very over-sexualized. I remember when I was a kid watching Transformers, seeing Megan Fox lift up that hood.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, that was pretty sexualized for me, and I was young, right?
Is that good or bad?
That's, if we're talking about over-sexualized, that's bad, right? So I can say Hollywood is just as over-sexualized as anime, you know?
Which is
Like
fair.
Black Widow, she wears her tight suit. That's pretty
Yeah,
sexualized to me.
Catwoman.
Yeah, I think the difference is with anime, you have
Wonder
an
Woman.
entire fan base where the idea of pedophilia is a bit more ambiguous than it can be in any other kind of genre, right? That is a norm within the anime community that I've observed, and
Why? What does he mean? I observed. I feel like you can only argue as much as he's arguing if you watched as much as he has watched. He's clearly watched a lot because I know what the heck he's talking about, and that's a genre, bro. I avoid. Once I figure out the plot, I'm out of there. So what do you mean, buddy?
I think that's problematic, and that's why I would argue that anime is over-sexualized.
Because of the child stuff, which is fair.
All right, the flags are
It's
up.
fair.
All right.
Dong dok 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 dong dok 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 dong dok dok dok.
So, I want to start by asking.
W
do you
dad
think
right there.
that
Someone
the
said name one good father in One Piece. You're looking at him, brother.
things you were just describing, is that more common in anime
The
than
best
other
one, then
sources
the
of
rest are
media,
like-
television or movies?
I can name a couple more, but he's
I
the
think
best
that's
one.
a fair point, and there's plenty of sexualization. Even if you look at shows in Hollywood that have sexualized children, right? That's bad.
Right.
The problem is the ambiguity. The problem is with drawings and cartoons, it's a little bit more normalized and acceptable socially.
It is.
To see a drawing of someone who's a 10-year-old and be attracted to that, unless it's compared
That's
to
true.
being a kid in an actual show that's live action, right? That's problematic.
I don't
to me
agree-
because it
disagree
still
with this
allows
statement.
people to practice those.
I just
mind
don't
behaviors
agree that you say
when they
it's
shouldn't
for
be doing
children, and then on
Right,
the
and my
flip
point
side,
goes
you say
into-
it's literally
When
not
you look at
for
a show
children.
like Euphoria or Riverdale, shows that are
Those are
clearly
counter-arguments.
also sexualizing, people who are explicitly depicted to be underage, and that is also considered a very mainstream show in Western audiences.
But anime itself isn't just over sexualized. Everything is over sexualized. Like he said, Black Widow with her skin tight suit. There's literally all these children, all these high school students in what's it called? What's that show that took over Hulu for like a month because we all had to finish it? It's not Degrassi. Degrassi's messed up too, but it's like the new generation Degrassi. Drake was an executive producer on it. Zendaya's the main character. Rue. You know what I'm talking about. There's no way you don't. What else? That's just how. There's literally a movie called Lolita. If you know what that means, then you know what that means. But what are you talking about? Everywhere. That's just like saying there's only gay people in America. Now there's gay people everywhere. Now, does everybody agree with it? No. But
Now,
it doesn't mean it's
would
not
you say that those shows also represent
all
the
over
entire
the globe,
media of
all the
television
same.
as a whole? Because if we're using the singular individual examples from anime to represent the entire genre,
Yeah.
then you should be able to do the same thing for a show like Euphoria or Riverdale. who are
Euphoria,
clearly showing
that's the
these
one.
children, these teenagers who are
Teen Wolf
expected
even.
to be in their teens doing drugs,
There we go.
having relations that are more than friendly. So I think that if
And
you're
Lifetime
looking at
Movie
it
Network,
as
bro.
the genre of anime shows this more than others.
Oh, that's for kids too.
I think the same should
I
be
mean, that's
shown
for
for
adults, so.
movies and for television. That's my main point.
No, it's a fair point. I would just argue that you're wrong by saying that the shows like Euphoria are just as much of a minority in Western media as shows that are more problematic with sexualization as they are in anime. I think they're much more prevalent. From my experience with anime, obviously I have my biases, but
Right.
I stand firm in my belief that anime is more sexualized to that extent than Western media.
I disagree.
Gotcha. And
I disagree.
I'll respect your personal perspective on that.
See, I agreed up until he made a very valid point. There's a lot of TV shows. Euphoria wasn't the first TV show to get super weird and freaky like that. And they're not acknowledging the fact that all the people in Euphoria who are cast are adults. But they're high schoolers. They're children. They're portrayed to be children. I don't know.
But as a whole, I do believe that
There
if
was
we're
stuff like
using
Degrassi.
individual
Remember
examples-
that scene where that physical therapist was rubbing on Drake's thigh? Oh
that
my
we have personally experienced,
gosh.
'cause I haven't personally watched that many animes that over-sexualize the characters. I tend to avoid shows like that
The
in
same.
general. So does that mean that
That's
because
why I
don't
don't
see
agree.
them, that the genre does
That's why I'm like, what is he watching? Because I've seen like one where it's like that, and I had to hop up out of it. I didn't even finish it. What is he watching? What do you mean it's more prevalent? What are you going out to watch? Are you looking at the cover art and going, that's a child? I'm clicking that one. Like, what are you doing?
doesn't have those as an issue. I watch shows like, Dragon Ball, like One Piece,
Mm-hmm.
shows that they might have it in there, but not to the same extent as other shows. Does that mean that my personal experience is going to dictate the entire genre?
It shouldn't. And
He
you know what?
cooked.
I think voices like you are important. More people like you should represent the anime community because you're right. It's important to understand that it's the minority. But to people like me in America who understand anime not from watching a ton of series, but seeing clips online and seeing the videos these motherfuckers make, then yeah,
I feel you.
right? But that's my point.
Yeah.
Then Tanner, we switch it. Yeah.
He's
Well,
wrong.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank
sir.
you, Kuma, for saving the day again. Father of the year, bro. He cooked. He cooked. That's my type right there.
Hi, Max. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, I'm Ray.
Ray.
I
Ray.
don't think necessarily
Hi,
anime
Ray.
is over-sexualized. I think particularly like the Japanese culture is over-sexualized.
What does that mean?
So I was just in Tokyo. Everything in Japan, I would say that they lean more towards sexualizing these types of stuff more than like other cultures. It's not necessarily the anime. I would say it's more than what it came from.
But isn't anime as a medium of Japanese culture by extension over-sexualized if Japanese culture is?
That is true, but you could say that about other cultures as well. You could say that about like Western culture, about how Westerners tend to, let's see, idolize like, women with big boobs. They show that a lot in like live action.
I
And
see it a
stuff.
lot in anime too.
You see that a lot in anime too, but
The point is that we're seeing it in both places, prick. I knew I wasn't going to like him.
again,
He's wearing a suit.
It's something that the Japanese tend to like more than
See, what we're doing here is we're separating Japanese and Western and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. No, we just need to use one word. Men. Men are the creators of these shows. They like what they like. Men create anime, so guess what? You're going to see big boob characters. Men create TV shows, you're going to see over-sexualized women. That's just what it is. Don't sit here and blame it on anime. Don't sit here and blame it on Western culture. It's men. And even if it is in reverse, I feel like with women it's tasteful. I ain't gonna lie. It feels mad tasteful. Like, I ain't never seen Levi be overly sexualized. He just swings from things and it makes him look cool, and he has cool hair, so it makes him look hot.
So it's okay
Not my
when
opinion, that's
Japan
just
does it because they like
people's
the
opinion.
titties more than we do.
Nah.
what I'm saying.
All right, so
I guess
was
the-
being a bit of an ass there.
Yeah, I was about to
We'll talk
say,
later. Good to meet you.
just being a butthole. He knows what she meant.
Next topic.
These people
The
get
anime
stumped up
community
real easy,
ruins
not
anime.
me. I love a good debate. Put me in this room, coach. If you're sharing this video, the anime men, put me in this room, bro. They're not winning. You know what? Put me in here, the anime lover, against all the anime haters, bro. I'm cooking.
Mess one.
Ooh, he's Yuji, I think.
How do you explain why is it toxic?
Yeah.
The community rules the anime.
When you look at the way fans interact,
Boy, do we. We as in y'all, not me. Not me. I completely understand having an opinion and someone else having a completely different opinion. There is a line between having an opinion and just being a dickhead. And I am aware of that line. There are people out there who will like die on that hill of, like, for example, Goku's the strongest character of all time. There is no beating him. There is no peaker anime than Dragon Ball. And I get that. For some people, that was some people's first. That's some people's, end all be all. And I can respect that. And I'm not going to sit here and be like, Dragon Ball's ass, Dragon Ball's ass. Because it's not. But I could also say it's not my favorite. And I feel like we should all be able to say that's not my favorite. I remember one time I was sitting in here talking to chat about anime. And a chatter told me to watch, I think, Hunter x Hunter. And I feel so strongly about Hunter x Hunter. But I kept it demure. I kept it classy. And I was just like, it's not my cup of tea. Not one of my favorites. Not one of my favorites. It's not one of my favorite worlds. Not one of my favorite plots. It's just not my favorite. And instead of asking me why it wasn't my favorite or hearing out my opinion or whatever, I mean, bro lost it and then went to tell me that I have no taste in anime and blah, 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 and this, that, and the third. You're probably one of those people who only watch Naruto. And I'm like, I've never been so, like, attacked for just having the most mildest opinion ever. You never even seen Hunter x Hunter. And I'm like, I watched the whole thing, buddy. I gave it so much of a chance that I watched it from start to finish and I still didn't like it. Can I have that? Can I have that? It'll never be in my top 5. It'll never be in my top 10. It'll never be in my top 25. And if I can think of 50 off the head, it probably wouldn't be up there either. Can I have that? Was that crazy? Is that a crazy take? Just like, no offense, Dragon Ball wouldn't be up there either. I get it. I get the nostalgia behind it. I get Goku being the coolest, strongest character ever. But after GT, to me, Dragon Ball was nothing. After GT, Dragon Ball was nothing to me. All this super, and it's not my thing anymore. It's just like a power scale that I don't even know. I feel like it's broken years ago that they're still trying to climb. That's just an opinion. Let me have one. It could be a not good one to you, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, okay, now I know that your anime taste is ass because your favorite is Hunter x Hunter. That's not what I'm going to say to you. I'm just going to be like, oh, okay, cool. I could tell that we're going to like two different types of animes. But yeah, the community is fucked. I ain't going to lie. People get their favorite anime. It touches a special place in them, like One Piece did for me. And then they want to die on that hill of it being peak. But it's just like, everybody has their own definition of peak. Everybody has their own interests. Everybody has their own, like, things that touch them differently, whether it be the art style or the emotion or the intent or the length or the connection they have with the character, or maybe even some of the similarities they have with the character. So yeah, everybody's opinion is going to be different.
Act with the media itself, there's a lot of gatekeeping and there's a lot of unnecessary
Dude,
ranking
who
systems.
gatekeeps anime? Who does that? Where do you do that at? I'm not gatekeeping an anime. It's a cartoon, bro. You can Google image it and find it your dang self.
I think lead to exclusion and resentment
No.
rather than just overall acceptance within the community.
I don't know anybody who gatekeeps, so
I have often seen
that's a new one to
anime
me.
fans say, oh, if you haven't watched this anime or this specific niche indie anime, then you're not a real fan.
They do that.
And I think that mindset is problematic.
They do
and
that.
leads to the community being perceived as toxic.
Okay, don't you think that's also very common in other forms of media? Such as
Yeah,
like music. I feel
music.
like it was very common with music, though. It's a little thing where it's like, oh, if you haven't listened to this artist, you're not a real fan.
Right.
Name 3 songs
Yeah,
of like
I mean, I
Nirvana.
think there's plenty of like musicians who you can say their fan base is toxic.
But
right?
it's not just musicians in the end. It's also just like TV shows.
I don't think there's a whole, let's put it this way. You could say that some musicians have a toxic fan base. You could say that some TV shows have a toxic fan base. You could
K-pop.
say that about like Rick and Morty, for example.
I
right?
love Rick and Morty, bro.
But
That's
my point is,
peak.
though, anime, I don't think anyone's coming out and saying that fans of music or fans of television overall are toxic. But I think you could make that argument much stronger about anime when you look at its
I think you can do that. I think you can do that for video games. I think you can do that for music for sure. I don't know what he's talking about. I disagree. There's some people who will die by Tyler the Creator. There are some people who will die by Frank Ocean, who literally will fight about Drake or Kendrick. You're yapping, brother. Did you miss the whole culture rewind we just went through with the beef with Kendrick and Drake? It made people stop being friends. What are you talking about?
Isn't it the same way, like you just said, like it's like
Yeah,
some
there's
anime fans
toxicity
that's
everywhere.
Yeah,
Right.
But there's a higher presence of it in anime based on the way fans talk about this.
I think that's more of a loud minority rather than a majority of fans. Because I've been to multiple conventions myself.
Right.
I've met people. I
Same.
feel like most people I've met that are big fans of anime,
Same.
just like anime. They don't like really
Same.
properly gatekeep it. You're just talking about like a very loud minority, where it's like
Right.
they're just like weird. I agree that there's weird people.
Problem
there.
is when it
There's weird
comes to
people everywhere.
content creation, these content creators and these influencers have an outside voice compared to other genres as a whole. And if you want your fandom, anime, to stop being perceived as such, then more people need to create content that doesn't perceive that message or spread it.
Okay, I get where you're coming from. Actually,
I think-
the anime.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe you shouldn't get a girlfriend.
Yeah, I should. You're right. I'm not.
Fuck him.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you, man. Max is one of my good high school friends. So
This is
we
my
know each
best
other
friend
very
right
well.
here.
So your argument is that gatekeeping is the toxic part.
Yeah, I think gatekeeping is a trait and a behavior you see in a lot of people in communities that are toxic, yes.
Yes, of course. So I actually don't think that in itself makes anime or the community.
Then if we're gonna say that, we can say that about fashion because I will gatekeep anything I buy. I can't tell you how many times someone has asked me, "Where'd you get the necklace?" Thrifted it. I don't know. It was a gift. Where'd you get the shirt? I don't know. My mom bought it for me one time. My mom ain't bought me clothes since I was fucking 16, 17. Actually, I'm lying. I think she bought me something for like my 20th Christmas or something like that. She bought hella random. She don't even know where she got it from. But you could really say that about fashion, bro. He's capping.
Accepting be toxic, right? Because I think the majority of the community is actually accepting of other people and bringing them
For
into
sure.
the topic of anime.
Do you think these guys are accepting?
I think they're.
Yes.
I actually would argue that they are accepting.
I completely agree with him. There's so many anime fans out there that just wish to have more people that they can talk about their favorite animes with. Like, I made friends that think the same way. We're just so excited that we can talk about our favorite, something that truly interests us, just endlessly in circles because there's so many genres, there's so many animes out there. So it's just like, I don't know what he's talking about. It can get toxic, for sure, but
In fact, the
anything
anime
can.
men specifically make videos about anime that have like, sure, very specific jokes and things that tailor to that audience, but I think that they aren't gatekeeping, if that makes sense. And in fact, they actually expand their audience by like making music videos to popular songs and such, which I think actually creates an environment where they're actually being more inviting than they are.
For sure.
See, I think you're wrong. You're talking about maybe a community of creators here that have done a great job, but I think so often you go into spaces where people really engage with the content, and you find someone that they're just going to say, oh, well, this character in this season is this amount of powerful, and this person in this episode.
Well,
of,
that's
like,
power
th-
scaling,
would
and
be who
we-
in this
that's just-
dynamic,
that
and it's
just
like all this,
happens, I'm
like,
not
back
gonna
and
lie.
forth and arguing and like twisting their nutsacks around, and it's like, come on now, like that's not what this is about. Like it's fun, but you can't get so upset about arguing the semantics of the topic if you want it to be fun.
Well, if the conversation's passionate and it's a debate, I think, it's all fair game. People, I watch these people called Topped. I think they were that One Piece show, that One Piece podcast, but now they're like just, that One Piece talk, but now they're just like Topped, which they're debating on changing the name because they're just an anime podcast now. And it's like power scaling happens. I mean, in real life, we kind of do the same thing. We just have the same old recycled heroes, so we don't do the same thing. For example, like I'm sure back in the day, even a few years back, we would debate on who would win versus Iron Man or Captain America. It's just an argument. But we're in 2025 and all we have is still Iron Man and Captain America, bro. Like, make some new superheroes, bro. Make some new superheroes, and I promise you the debates would be the same. But in anime, there's so many varieties of different characters and different strengths and different types of powers that it's only right that somebody somewhere is gonna say, someone somewhere is gonna say Kakashi can beat up on Gojo. It's just gonna be a conversation. It's just gonna happen because there's too many options. There's too many options. There's not that many options with American Western TV. What I'm learning from this guy arguing about anime is that Western TV sucks. We suck. And anime is superior.
I see that too often when I've seen anime being perceived outside. And let's also
put me in the game, coach. I'm cooking all of them. No one's found an argument that will beat mine. But that's easy to say because I'm the only one combating with myself.
Genre making its way into being
and no one can respond to what I'm saying.
Right? You can have your space.
But I feel like I'd cook.
But if people outside aren't seeing it as such, which I think it's fair to say there's a substantial amount of people who share my feelings outside of the anime community, then what's the point?
Yeah, no, that's a great argument. Still, the outside take doesn't define what a community is as its whole, right? That's just a perspective that maybe you have, and I'm sure other people have too. But being in the actual community itself, it's not that toxic, right? And I believe this because...
Tell them.
Sure, there are people that have these debates. Most of them are actually just funny, friendly banter, right? I would say that there's maybe the 1%, like it's like a little too heated, right? But I think that's like a reflection on themselves, like individually, and it doesn't like affect the entire community.
Thank you.
If that makes sense.
There's outliers,
small
dude.
Minority. So
I
the
agree.
community itself is not toxic.
He's saying valid stuff. I agree.
That would be my debate.
I would disagree. But
yeah,
you're a bitch. My bad.
On this topic.
Yeah.
That was good.
My bad.
If anyone else would like to debate this,
See, I can't debate now. I lost already. I called him a bitch.
1.
Because he didn't make any substantial points, and then as a guy inside the community, he made some substantial points, and then he just full blown disagrees with them, and I get it. Because if that's all you see, if all you see on the news is what Tyler say, if all you see on the news is dogs biting people, it's gonna make you scared of dogs. So if all you see on the news is anime people hating on other anime people, then you're gonna assume. But that's just like that would imply that he's even more wrong, because you're just looking from the outside. You haven't taken a step in to go, oh, maybe they're not all toxic. You know what I mean? So it's just crazy to full-blown disagree, not give it a single chance.
All right, I'm gonna leave you there. Hello.
Oh, your guys' shoelaces tied together.
Yeah. So you think the anime community is what ruins anime? Honestly, I think the anime community makes anime better.
I agree.
Why? Look at where anime was 10
years ago. Dude, thank you.
People were made fun of for liking anime.
10 years ago.
People were made fun of for
Thank
liking anime.
you.
People were bullied, but now it is so more welcome than it was 10 years ago because of the community.
Thank you.
Look at all the expos and conventions.
Thank you.
Where all these fans come together.
I know, man.
Right? No, what do you mean? Okay, no. You guys agree. You guys agree. You guys all agree. You too. Because, like, think about it. Think about it, Matt. So basically, the anime community is what brings anime more open, right? Look at all the Crunchyroll Awards or all these award shows. All these big celebrities are coming out into the open of their love for anime because of what the community brings. It's not like
getting
Star
lost in
Wars.
them being his
'Cause
friends.
you look at communities in Western media, they are way more toxic than the anime community.
How are they toxic?
Do I even need to go into that?
Yeah, what? How is a Star Wars fan more toxic?
You're toxic.
I'm toxic.
You're toxic. You're toxic.
How is a Star Wars fan more toxic? Do we have to get into that? Oh my god, I'm so glad he said Star Wars. The Harry Potter and the Hobbit debate? Oh my god, Lord of the Rings? Them people are crazy. Crazy, bro. Oh, I didn't even think about that. That was a valid thing.
You're insulting me.
I'm insulting you. You're insulting me.
How do you like Star Wars is for kids? How do you like Star Wars? Wait. Okay. See, I knew he wasn't. He's an anime fan. They should have put like a I don't know, like 4 or 5 adults or something in here, not just another kid, because he's losing composure for one. 2, he's not making good arguments. He's just kind of repeating himself. And then whenever he does repeat himself for like the 3rd time, and the person on the opposing side makes more sense, he kind of rewords. I hate when people do that. They kind of reword and dissect their answer a little better so it could still be right. And it's just not. That's not how that works. If your statement was anime is for kids, then let your statement be anime is for kids. Don't let it turn into, well, it turned into not all anime, but I think it could be more for kids because it's animated to animation versus real life. Like, you can't keep tweaking it to make your point. It's wrong. It's wrong. If we're going based off your core statement, it's wrong. And then when you start to slightly agree with them, you can't rearrange it and change it. You know you're wrong already. You lost.
Your tie's uneven. Fix your tie. You know I will. Let's go, Matt. No.
Walk away. Go. I'm walking. Good boy.
Good boy is such a.
All right. 10 seconds.
Welcome to the
Summarize
booth.
report. My name's Cade. Summarize report. No, summarize report real quick. I was falling asleep. It was boring. Speed it up.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't think
You're crazy.
If you're falling asleep
You're
from
insane.
what I say,
You're
then I'm gonna
manipulating me
repeat
now
myself.
too. What?
I don't need to speak again for someone who's falling asleep.
Stinky points, bro. Everything you say is cap. We're right.
One guy got flip flops on back there.
Next topic. Cosplaying is weird.
All right, if you would like to go up.
Oh, that's crazy. I told myself my next. Hold on, let me say this for everybody in the back. So the anime shorties can hit me up. My next life investment, aka future partner, wife, the person I'll put a ring on their said finger. I hope to God she's in the cosplay, bro. If she's not in the cosplay, I'll be cool with it. Cause it is kind of expensive, but I'm hoping I have my finances right by then. But give me a cosplayer. Give me a weeb cosplayer who's a fucking baddie, bro. Oh my gosh, who said people don't get laid in the anime community? Cap. Oh my gosh.
Treat, nice to meet you.
Max.
So I disagree with that, and I would like to ask, what make it weird for you?
Yeah, well, I'll just say this. There's nothing wrong with cosplaying. I think if someone finds enjoyment out of doing cosplaying, then they should do it. But I don't think anyone would say it's normal or a
That's effed up. Hold on, let him finish.
thing that's not weird, right? Define weird as
No, I disagree. Cause define normal. Define normal. Cause anytime I think normal, I think of SpongeBob. Hi, I'm normal. I feel like the word normal should be like deleted from the dictionary. See, the definition of normal is even weird. Conforming to a standard, usual, typical, or expected. How am I to expect a certain thing to make that normal? Not everybody expects the same thing. Not everybody thinks the same thing is typical. Not everybody thinks the same thing is usual. For example, never mind. I was about to say some black code stuff.
something that's not normal and maybe a little bit strange way to behave, and I don't think
Like bringing a casserole to a cookout is not normal to me. It's not typical. Does that make me weird, or does that make the person who thinks that's normal? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
anyone would argue or find it accurate that cosplaying isn't weird.
I can see that. So
No, I disagree, because there's probably 15 other people in the room with him that would look at him and not say it's weird. Like, what the fuck? If anything, the guy in the suit's the one weirdo. Like, what?
okay,
See, no, if that's not his argument, I don't want to hear it.
from your perspective, it's usually reinforced from stereotyping. That's usually make your brain lump down everything, just kind of break it out over a individuality of how someone can be very complex as a person. We want to express itself. What's considered weird to you because
Oh,
it
he's
is
so
out of your social norm.
nervous.
Something can be yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. Especially in America, there's a lot
Oh,
of
he's so
diverse culture in
nervous.
here, so you get to see a lot of perspective. Like like for cosplayer, there's in Asia, Vietnamese, Chinese, Korean, Japanese. We all, like it's not just essentially just a
I don't
hobby.
even want to comment.
It's also like a way for us to express ourselves.
Don't say nothing
There's a
to
bunch of
bro,
quality-
bro. You
How
say
do you
something.
express yourself though by pretending that you're someone that you're not? That I don't understand. Explain
Halloween, brother? What?
that to me.
Okay.
Wait, Halloween, brother. We do that. We do that. In a lot of countries, they don't usually do that. Does that make us weird or does that make us normal? That's my point right there. There's no such thing.
You're not technically pretending as someone else. You're showing your love for the character. And a way to do it is, for cosplaying, saying
Oh,
that's
he's so
also a little bit like
nervous.
vague. Is oversimplifying a lot of like.
Don't
point
say
as well.
anything.
What's the difference between dressing up in a costume and cosplaying?
For that point, it's the same because in America, Halloween you're allowed to like wear a costume. It's just a Western way to saying that. For cosplay, it's just how most people in Asia decide to like. It's just a word that we define ourselves.
Okay, so it's the same thing as dressing up for
I'm
a
surprised.
costume.
Yeah, it's kind of, there's nothing weird about it. It's weird because your brain just reinforces older stereotype, and because it's
Yeah, I think so. I don't think it's weird to dress up. I think it's weird if you internalize it, right? If you're dressing
That's
up,
see what I'm saying? He switched it again, bro. He's gaslighting everybody. He's gaslighting everybody, and I'm sick of it. Somebody call him out on it.
internalizing this is like a second secret identity I have, and that's weird. And I think that's something I have observed in a lot of the anime community. Frankly,
you cannot say that. I disagree, because that's take a very minority and just kind of sum it up.
Okay, and that's.
See, he's taking the minority of every situation and then turning it into the whole community. Anime's for kids, because there's a small percentage of it that's for kids. Anime's over-sexualized because there is a small percentage of it that's dedicated to sexualizing kids. Because a cosplay is weird because there is a small percentage of it that internalizes it. Anime is toxic because there's a small percentage of it that takes it to core. Just acknowledge the fact that the minority is for some reason the only group that's sticking out to you.
Weird. That's weird, right? It's weird if you're dressing up as something and thinking that like internalizing the identity of what you're dressing
out of
up
your
as.
social norm, your
what
brain,
you do.
thinking of like that's very narrow-minded, especially in America. There's so many different cultures out there.
Yeah.
It's just a way for us to express ourselves. And
all right, that's 10. Please walk
Yeah,
off.
free him. Free him. Free him. Free him for that conversation. He was nervous. I wanted that girl to get it. The other girl.
Max.
Oh wait, no.
Nice to
Athena's
meet you.
sad. Hold on.
So before I continue, I would just like you to reiterate your
Give me the Athena. She is very pretty. Very, very pretty.
point directly to me.
These are grown-ups, right?
Yeah. So the point I made last
Like
is
in their
that
20s?
cosplay, if you want to do it and it's the way you want to enjoy yourself,
Feels
that's
like it.
fine. But it's weird, especially if you're internalizing the identity that you are.
I feel like we're
dressing
going
up
on
as
21,
in your cosplay.
22-ish. Group.
So I understand where you're coming from, but you do have to acknowledge not all cosplayers do that. Personally, when I cosplay, I don't view myself as that character. I view myself as expressing my appreciation and love for this character. And the basis of that is outside of a hobby. It is to
All
connect-
bro has defined is the weirdos in the anime community. That's all he's done. You know, there are some. There's weirdos in every community. Just the other day, I was watching an agent video, and a grown ass man was excited to go see Kesha. There's weird, and he knew all the hot spots she could be, and her location, and her next concert, and it was mad that agent did it. So it's like there's weirdos in every community, brother.
connect with others.
Stop connecting
And
it
then
to anime,
cosplay
though.
in itself is a very popular hobby. And again, self-expression is very important. So cosplay aside, when other people indulge in their hobbies, do you find their hobbies weird?
It depends on the hobby. I think my point is that if you want to dress up as something, that's fine. But if you're going around dressing up like a dog and
AKA, it's based on his opinion, is what he just said. Again, these people aren't snapping back properly, bro.
barking like a dog, that's weird. And I don't think that's normal. Again, I still fully support their right to bark like a dog if they want to. Go ahead and do it, but that's weird. And again, we'll extrapolate overall in the anime
ain't wrong, that's
community
a
as you
little weird.
have people that
I
are
don't know
in
what these
character
people are in on.
and sort of taking on the identity and role and acting out their character often.
I guess I could say the
often
same
for
thing about
extended
people who
periods
eat
of
ass.
time, right? I think that's weird,
I
right?
think it's
Because then you're
weird.
ignoring yourself and you're ignoring your life as a person. An actual
But then my
person,
life
that's
partner,
weird.
I don't know.
So before I continue to my next
My life
point,
person, I'd
I
probably
do
eat
want
they
to acknowledge,
toes,
yes, while
eat
that
they
is a
cheeks.
thing, there is a generalization.
Eat them.
You are blurring the lines between cosplay and identifying as something.
Right.
And when you
He's
cosplay, you
blurring
don't
it.
inherently identify. So creating that generalization is
Right.
unfair to the cosplay community as a whole.
Right.
And
He doesn't understand a word
again,
she's saying.
on top of that, it is a hobby. It is something people make careers out of. It is a form of
Oh
self-expression.
my God! Speaking of careers, there's
And that's a normal way to make a career?
hold on.
I mean, are
There is no
freelancers
normal
artists
way to
normal
make a
careers?
career, bro.
No, and then you could say that's weird though, too. Doesn't mean it's bad. It's just weird. It's not normal. Isn't that what weird is? Something that's not normal?
But it's only not normal because you have that prejudice in your mind. If you look past what you already view as weird.
Good job.
Oh, here she is. Here she is. I want a piece.
Next person, if you would like to debate this, please walk to the table in 3, 2, 1. Kumba.
Ooh.
It's
welcome back.
nice
Yeah.
to see you again. So this is, whew, okay, I have a lot to say on this one.
Okay.
I'm a cosplayer, not currently, but I do this professionally. This is my job. I make a living off of this, so
Yeah.
I have a lot to just expose
Okay.
your brain to
Okay,
on this
so
subject.
expose me.
So you are definitely adding on to what Athena was saying, blurring a line between cosplayers and a very small minority of the community who get like a very overly emotional attachment and start to identify as a certain character.
Right,
But
literally.
Let me ask you, have you ever been to Disneyland?
Of course.
Okay. Have you seen the character actors at Disneyland?
Yeah, those are cosplayers.
Exactly. They're cosplayers, but they're specifically in character as those people, and they're getting paid to do that.
What would
but,
you call the people then who...
But cosplayers
Let her
are
talk,
not
bro.
necessarily the people who work at Disneyland. So not all cosplayers are going to be
Right.
emulating that
Oh my
character
gosh, she was about
that
to piss
they're
me off.
cosplaying.
What would,
In
so
fact,
what would you call those?
Let her answer her statement first, and then she can answer your follow-up question. When you interrupt like that, you're missing the whole shibuya.
And who are emulating their character.
character actors, and that is not a character actor is not a
That's
cosplayer.
even weirder. Damn, okay.
It's but that's
He's
a
just a
profession,
dickhead.
and people
No,
make
he's smiling.
a lot of money doing that. But cosplay is very different.
Shit,
And
put
while
me in a Mickey
cosplayers
Mouse suit.
can Cosplay.
No,
you know,
in that
Disney
100-degree weather,
characters,
I'm
or
good.
Marvel characters,
Good.
or comic book
I don't
characters,
know how
or
big the
anime
bag is. I don't
characters.
care.
You have to think about how it is also an industry.
And you can't sit here and say cosplaying is like a weird job because there's people who on the internet who are Instagram models. Nigga, that's not normal. That's like a new thing because of the internet. Cosplaying is just a new component of the internet. A lot of things are new components because of the internet. Being a YouTube creator, being a content creator, being a cosplayer, being a OnlyFans, being a Instagram model. Those are all new components of the internet. So if you're asking, or new forms of entrepreneurship, if you're asking if it's a normal job in 2025, it is, unfortunately, or fortunately, actually, because I want to marry one. But it is a normal thing now. So unfortunately for you, I know that kind of sucks and it's super weird, but that's just the way life is now. There's new forms of entrepreneurship, thankfully, because of the internet. So get with the
And
program or
music
get left
is an
behind, brother.
industry in itself. Like people
Wonder what he
are
does for a living, what he's
selling,
gonna do
you
for a
know, their
living.
services. Cosplay is
'Cause he
one of
doesn't deserve the
only
internet,
hobbies, I
if
feel,
that's the
that
case.
encapsulates hundreds of different skills and professions.
I agree.
And so many different things.
Some
that
people are
take
martial
to make
arts.
it, and saying that that is weird is like
And it's sewing
saying
and-
that all
yeah.
of these other umbrellas underneath it are also weird. In fact, it's actually very impressive to be able to combine so many different skills
Mhm.
and efforts and careers and fields
Agree.
into one singular thing. And I feel like there's not many things in terms of hobbies that do that, but that's not inherently weird. I feel like that is actually very impressive
I agree.
to the normal person.
Can't something be both weird and impressive though?
I feel it. I mean, but
like,
that's
isn't
just,
it weird? Like when you
but
have a kid.
that's-
Like I have a
comes down
friend,
to
for
personal
example,
bias.
and he can multiply like 2-3-digit numbers like in his head within like 10 seconds.
Okay.
That's weird. It's also really impressive.
It's very
right?
I guess the misunderstanding here is his usage of the word weird. By definition, weird isn't a positive thing. It's it's seen more as a negative term. If he would use a different word, such as impressive, because it's something you can't do. It's a skill that you don't necessarily have. I would say impressive would be more in that weirdish category without saying the word weird, being an asshole. I don't like this guy. But his job isn't to lose.
It's a little weird. Like, what's going on in your head?
But I also feel like that. Oh, yeah. Ooh, that's definitely a statement. I feel like your perspective so far has been inherently negative weird, but here you are also acknowledging
that's what
that
I
things
said.
can be impressive, but weird to you.
No, look,
and
I love-
feel like
I love
in
that people
sense,
that
it's
get
coming
into
down
what
to
they
your
care about.
personal
statements.
bias, and you are starting to think less of a whole objectively and more debating on your personal bias.
That's not true. Okay.
That is true.
I think that I've made it very clear during.
Nope,
the
she ate you
I love
up.
that people
sense,
that get
it's coming
into
down
what
to
they
your
care about.
personal bias, and you are starting to think less of a whole objectively and more debating on your personal bias.
True.
That's not true.
She's
okay?
cooking.
I think that I've made it very clear during this discussion that I think people can have fun and they should have fun being cosplayers. I have nothing
Being
against
weirdos.
people doing that and
That's what you
expressing
just
themselves.
said.
I just think it's weird, and that's why I don't do it. I mean, you could argue that me wearing a suit to that and expressing themselves. I just think it's weird. Fun being cosplayers. I have nothing against people doing that and expressing themselves. I just think it's weird. Fun being cosplayers. I have nothing against people doing that and expressing themselves. I just think it's weird. Fun being cosplayers. I have nothing against people doing that and expressing themselves. I just think it's weird. Fun being.
Brother just said, I just think it's weird. Not only is that your opinion, after you just said you weren't giving yours, not only is that your exact opinion, but you even used opinionated terminology by continuously saying, I just think it's weird. Okay. He's not intellectual enough for this. None of them are. I don't like this debate.
Being cosplayers. I have nothing against people.
I don't like a debate where I feel like I'm the smartest in the room. Or I could be the smartest in the room. I like a debate where there's other challenging minds, where there's people who will make me think for a second, where there's conversations where we can actually go, okay, I agree with you or I disagree with you. I don't like conversations where it's just like, you're wrong. You got me there. Like, that's not... You got me there, but I still think you're wrong. Like, that's just my opinion. Oh, no, I don't have an opinion, but I think you're weird. This isn't a debate. This is... Maybe there are a lot of children in there.
People doing that and expressing themselves. I just think it's weird, and that's why I don't do it. I mean, you could argue that me wearing a suit to this fucking debate is a little weird, but here we are.
He said it.
Yeah, isn't that cosplaying though a little bit? So aren't I technically cosplaying right now? But aren't I a little weird for showing up to debate 20 people about anime? in a
No, you're
suit?
debating.
Like, that makes me weird.
I even have another point. So, fun fact, and this is kind of a fun fact.
Yeah.
So the word you talked earlier about like Halloween, and
Yeah.
that's a very good point to bring up because cosplay can be Halloween. You're dressing up as a character, your kids dress up, your family dresses up, and
Yeah.
so that's a very normalized occasion in the West for people who maybe are into whatever they like. If they're really
Right.
into Marvel or if they're really into that.
And there's people who
that's
dress
not
up for
weird.
all of
That's normal,
October.
but I guess the point is when people use the word cosplay in media, they're not talking about Halloween. They're not even really talking about someone at like a fair that's like
I'm
dressing up.
so glad
right?
that you mentioned
They're talking
the
about
word.
motorcycle
No,
made guy.
I'm so glad that you mentioned the word cosplay because that's another fun fact. So a very long time ago, I believe sometime around the 50s or 60s, and somebody fact check me on that, but some
70s.
kind of convention gathering, I can't remember exactly what it was happening over here in the United States, and a reporter from Japan came to scope it out, check it out, and brought, saw what we were doing here, dressing up as characters from comics and series that we like, and brought that back and wrote an article, and thus the word cosplay was formed by creating,
Oh, shoot. Hold on. I just came up with the best button to put in my freaking soundboard. Hold on, we are adding that to the soundboard. She did her
comics and
research.
series that we like and brought that back and wrote an article, and thus the word cosplay was formed by creating, combining costume and play. And when you
Hold on, she cooked. She cooked. Oh, she cooked.
Translate that into, to make it fit into the Japanese
What
language.
she just said was America invented cosplay, and Japan just made the word cosplay. Therefore, based on this argument, he is wrong. Technically speaking, Americans are weirdos, is what he just said.
It comes out as cosplay, and cosplay is that. So it didn't the word itself is literally just describing people dressing up, and that could have been Halloween, that could have been
that's
everything.
fine.
The word itself is the same.
And that's fine. And I guess my point is, I have nothing against people dressing up, but the way cosplay is used in our media often describes more than that.
What he just said is our media sucks. Because he's used our media in every example. I mean, somebody call him on that, please.
It often describes, and obviously it
In
seems
which
like you
media
have a lot
specifically?
Please.
talking about Western media.
Western
Online
media?
people on the internet here in the United States, right?
Okay, and that's from
hold
your
on, let me-
experience from not being in the community to see the full depth.
Absolutely, I recognize that. And
See, there's that factor too, is that he keeps implying that he's not in it. You have to be in it to understand it, to actually see what the cause is. The same as watching a white person get to know a black person better. If they hear on the news that black people do this, that, and the third, they rob, they steal, clutch a purse if you see a black person, versus knowing a black person, you're like, oh, they're just fucking darker us. Like they do things a little different, but they're just people at the end of the day. This is a great example of racism right here. This is a perfect example of racism right here. This right here, this whole visual he sees anime, and I'm not saying he's racist. I'm sure he has black friends and all that. That's what people say. But this whole example right here is just racism. It's racist towards another type of people. At the end of the day, that's all this is right now. Is he see things on media, and instead of asking the proper questions, he just assumes, oh, these people are arguing about who's stronger, Goku or Vegeta. Oh, that community's toxic. This girl's dressed up as a character from My Hero Academia, and she's doing poses like she's actually from the show. Oh, these people are weird. Oh, they're weird. This particular show is sexualizing children? Oh no, that community's weird. That's what he's doing right now. Like, I can say the same thing about a lot of shows, a lot of movies in America. It's just as weird.
But I think my point is,
It just doesn't get the light it does because in America, they have this thing where they really like hiding their mistakes. They love burying their mistakes. Like the whole Epstein list that Trump was supposed to show. He ain't talk about it. And they probably try to clean it up off the internet, the fact that he ain't talk about it. Or anybody who's even said anything about it, they ain't talk about it. I might have to cut this part out so it don't get hidden because it ain't supposed to be talked about. That's the difference between America.
Having a good faith debate about the word, then the way people understand the word as a whole matters, right? Even if it's necessarily
Not true. 100% not true, because that goes back to the gender and the sex argument, where people keep saying there can't be more than two genders, when scientifically speaking, if you literally, I tell people this and they're like, oh, you're one of them, and it's like, I don't know, I'm not non-binary or none of that. I know what I am, and I feel like everybody should know what they are. I don't understand the concept of creating a gender just so you could feel a certain type of way, because it doesn't make you feel any better. It's just your word against America's, really. So it's all kind of dumb to me. But if you look up the definition of gender, it's a social thing. It's just a social thing. It's just something that you portray yourself as, or you want to tell people you feel this way. There's that list is endless, and it can continue to grow. I can go right now and say I identify as a helicopter, and at the end of the day, if I truly believe that, and I'm not trolling, guess what? Helicopter will be thrown on that gender list, because that's just what America allows you to do. But sex, biological sex, there's two, and then there's that third one where, you know, you can have a little bit of both here and here. There's a word for them, but I don't like saying it because it reminds me of a dinosaur. So it sounds like some sort of Tyrannosaurus Rex, and I don't like saying it. So there is really only two, and then there's that third one, that outlier that does exist. So technically speaking, there's three. But when it comes to genders, that list can go on. I looked into it. That list is long, and it continues to grow by the day because people, at the end of the day, like I said, can say, "Hey, I really identify with helicopters, bro. I think I'm a helicopter, bro. I think I need gasoline, bro. I think I can fly, bro." People can do that.
Definition.
Every time I explain it to somebody, they understand where I'm coming from. But when I first say it, bro, they're like, because
Also,
I get it.
That
I just didn't understand why America was fighting on it so bad. I'm just like, bro, how do we just not know this? Like, how do we not know that there's this and there's this? Why are people so hell-bent on saying there's this many, and why is there people hell-bent on saying, no, there's only this many? Why do we just not know? So then I did some research, and people are just using the wrong words.
Feel like where
It's when you
what
have both.
type of cosplay are you talking about? Are you talking about people who craft, people who dress up for Halloween, like that? If cosplay
No,
is
I'm talking
such
about,
a
if we're
whole-
talking about like what's objectively weird, we're talking about people
Yeah,
who
what is
go out in
objectively
public
weird to you?
and internalize their characters and pretend there's someone they're
But see, you can't say objectively weird because when you go to an anime convention, there's hundreds of people dressed up the same way. There's anime conventions that have to move throughout the year. It's becoming so prominent to the point where it's not just happening once a year anymore. It has to happen a couple times a year in different states because there's so many people opening up and expanding to this thing that you think is weird. Like, for example, for furries, which I personally, I don't understand. But on the furry side of thing, you notice that isn't as big as anime because it is seen to be a little more weird. But cosplay is costumes. Literally costumes and play. That's all it is, dude. That's not that weird. Walking around as a furry honestly isn't even that weird until you turn it into how these people move in furries. Like that's the definition of what he's saying is weird because they embody that character that they're dressing up as, and that's usually a furry. Like if you've ever watched any furry video ever, they believe that this is an alternate person that they are, or technically the alternate furry that they are. They have a name, they have a backstory, they have a life, they have a community that's very, by his definition, weird because they embody that thing that they created, the suit that they made. Versus cosplay, they don't embody it. It's just, I like this character. I'm a Bizarro. Like, I don't know. He's making it deeper than it needs to be.
or not. Again, I totally have the right to do that, but I'm saying people, if that's not cosplay,
Have
then
you
that's
experienced
fine.
those people in person? Have you talked to somebody who is genuinely believing that they are that character?
Yes.
And what are the odds that you think you would meet somebody like that if you were to go into a designated space for cosplayers, con goers, anime lovers? What do you think is the probability that you would meet
I'm
somebody?
sure it's a spectrum, and there's probably most people like
Do you-
Motorcycle
do
Maid
you
who are
have a
pretty chill,
probability of
actually.
that, though?
But do I what?
It's like
You're asking me, do I have a problem?
a probability of it.
I like Motorcycle Maid, I ain't gonna lie.
Probably 1 in 500 at least.
Yeah, sure. And then 1 in 500 people are weird, and that's fine.
But when you, ooh, I would love.
Yeah, he's just an asshole.
All right, the next topic is live action will always be better than animation.
Please go up in 3.
See, and that's his problem. He's refusing to acknowledge that his argument is wrong. Because 1 in 5 people can be weird, or 500 people can be weird. But that wasn't your argument. Your argument was that cosplay is weird. Cosplay and people embodying the character are two different things. So acknowledge the fact that cosplaying isn't weird, but the people who acknowledge that, who think that they're living this life, that they're that character, that they're embodying this person, are weird. So acknowledge that you're wrong.
3.
That's what I like
2,
about debates.
1.
People have a hard time admitting that they're wrong. I am so good with saying I'm wrong.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hi, Max.
Michelle.
Sometimes it stings a little,
So
but
please describe why do you think
I have no
live
problem
action
saying
is
I'm
better
wrong.
than anime?
I think it's not a matter of
Live action will always be better than
the
animation.
art
He's a
itself. I
liar.
think something can be great.
He is wrong.
In both categories. My argument
Disagree.
is more so if you look at the most impactful pieces of media that have been created, especially in film.
He's thinking Star
Some of the
Wars.
greatest movies of all time, they're all live action. You don't see animes mentioned in terms of the most culturally impactful pieces of art that are.
The big three. And anime is an American culture. It's not an American thing. And he's still wrong because there's all types of Disney movies that are people's heart and joy on this planet. He's just wrong completely. It's so easy to get around this one.
Correct. So when you say culturally, it does depend on the culture.
Right,
And
anime isn't
compared
American.
From the U.S. to Asia, it's definitely a huge dynamic of how anime is portrayed and seen, and for the value that people hold.
And I just learned that recently in One Piece, people are holding up the One Piece ship flag. It's a symbol of freedom in certain countries. So much so that presidents in their countries are trying to ban it. I don't remember which country he said, but it got banned in the whole country. And
When it comes
yeah.
to action,
I think that's a symbol
real-life
for
films
sure.
Compared to anime, it does capture like different aspects, but to predominantly say one is better than the other, it does depend on what is in the script, what's depicted throughout the animation, or the way that.
And this
camera
prick's probably talking about
captures
Star Wars.
live action.
Do you
Star Wars
think
is not the greatest
do you
movie of
think
all
anime
time.
is better
Sorry.
than live action.
It's on playing grounds in the description of arts, because the arts covers a huge variety of media portrayal,
Right.
and just how one is able to express like creativity, whether it's through actual face expressions or like visual scenes, or rather the dynamic that animation can
Yeah, you
create
can't
a
put
whole
a
fantasy,
stamp on
not
art, dude. It's so
necessarily to
vague.
cater to a specific to cater to a specific culture.
I would just shit on
but
his favorite. I'd ask him what it
essentially
is.
to
What
bring to
movie's the
life
greatest movie
what
of
the
all
text,
time?
the script is
That's a
actually
live
meaning
action.
in terms of being able
What's
to
the greatest movie of all time that's a live action? What's my favorite movie of all time that's a live action? I like the Avatar, but not the Airbender, the blue people. There's a third movie coming out. I'm kind of excited about it. I really like the Avatar story. I think that's like peak live action for me. Also like the Valerian's Thousand Planet. I don't remember, the title's hella long. Pirates of the Caribbean's like pretty peak for me, but I just think that's also, those are all super childish movies. I haven't named a single movie that was, I mean, in the Avatar it's very serious. It was a very serious situation. I just mean like it's fictional though, I feel like. And a live action, and I feel like fictional and animation kind of go hand in hand. They're both fake. The difference is that they use real people, but even then it's CGI. It's edited. It's not like real faces.
to add color, being able to bring
So sorry, your argument is that anime can bring to life more aspects of what's animation than live action, therefore it's better.
with more creative freedom, because there's CGI in live action film, but that does come with a huge budget.
Yeah.
When it comes to Marvels, they have a huge budget to be able to disperse all of that. But when it comes to animation, it doesn't matter how much budget one can, but they're able to utilize it through the arts, through the depiction, and their efforts in order to
I think
create
I've
a whole scene
felt-
that's able to encapsulate.
I think I felt more watching an anime though. Like I've definitely cried more watching an anime than watching a real, like a live action movie. I don't even think I can recall a live action movie that made me cry other than Avatar. That made me cry. Like I don't know. But also I'm a sap, so I could just be
That's a
yapping.
great argument, and I think that democracy.
I'm the person in a relationship who's laying next to a girl, and a girl's watching the movie like, "Aww," and I'm sitting there trying to keep it cool, tears rolling down my face like, "Something in my eye, man, can this be over?" Crying my eyes out, bro,
and
bawling,
creativity that
trying not to
animation can
sniff in because
bring
it'll be
across the
obvious that
film
I'm
space
crying.
Compared to eating a high-budget Hollywood film is a great thing, right? But objectively, let's say we're watching with a film with a big spaceship like exploding or something like that. Isn't it way cooler to see it happen in live action than anime?
Hell nah.
But isn't that just a utilization of CGI essentially?
I'm sure, but it's cooler.
It is cooler, but it's also dependent on which
No, it's
culture
not.
you're
It's not cooler.
predominantly invested in.
Sure, but that's a great point about the cultures, and it's important to remember that anime and animation cultures are very small, right? And while they are confined to their nations, and Western media is confined to the United States, Western media and United States film, particularly stuff produced here in California, have impacted the entire world in maybe a way anime hasn't.
10 flags.
I disagree. I 100% disagree. Heard him though. Heard him.
3.
We listen and we don't judge.
1.
I'm dying for a Japanese Batman though. I ain't gonna cap. I think they could do way better with a Japanese Batman,
bro. I'm
bro.
back. It's good to see you, bro. All right, I think obviously everything's subjective, but I think
He's so
anime
pale.
is better than live action.
holy
That's
shit.
weird. Why? Really? Is it weird?
Yeah.
Dude, that's not cool, bro. Why are we just resort to insults? Why don't we just be a little bit nice, huh?
All right, bro.
No, wait. Let him cook. This is gonna be fun. Okay, I'll be serious. All right, pretend that didn't happen, guys. All right, I think anime in general, objectively, could have a more creative, just everything than live action. Yes or no?
Yeah, no, that's what she said, and
Really?
I think I actually agree with that point.
Okay, and I think it's better.
I don't think that makes it better. I think it makes it more creative potentially.
Then let me see. I actually want to hear. Why do you think live action is better than anime, just in general, or animation?
I think seeing, and obviously this is subjective, but I
Okay.
think there's a value in seeing someone who looks exactly like you and experiences life in the same ways physically than you when you're understanding a story and the way the story is told. Makes it easier to relate to the person.
Okay.
And on top of that, again, as I've said earlier,
Not
every single
necessarily.
piece
Life
of media
experiences
in
make up a
film
person.
that has
so.
been the most impactful is
But he's not
live
wrong, because it was nice to have a black superhero finally be portrayed in live action, aka Wakanda Forever. I mean, that was impactful. I can't tell you how many black people showed up for that movie, whether they liked Marvel or not, because there was a black superhero who was the main character for the first time. And I get where he's coming from, because technically speaking, it goes right along with what he's saying, is that it's nice to see a representation of yourself. It hits kind of different, I ain't gonna lie. It does. But with that also being said, and this is absolutely no diss, because I think Black Panther might be top 5 superheroes of all time. Not gonna lie. It just sucks that the person who played him is no longer with us. Rest in peace. But I get where he's coming from. But again, with that being said, it's not one of my favorite movies by any means. Sorry. Wakanda Forever, though. It had a whole handful of magnificent actors. I can't even think of one that was bad. And I'm talking about on the female standpoint too. But it's not one of my favorite movies. It's not top 5. It probably isn't top 10. I could put it up in the top 25, but I've seen a lot of movies, so I would have to see, because I like a lot of horror movies, so I don't know. But like I said, well, my point is that it's not one of my favorites, but I get where the impact coming from, because it is nice to see my skin tone in movies, and now more than ever that I guess he could just, but what he's saying though is driven from racism. Like, I'm only appreciative of it. See, this is what I mean, bro. This is basically just racism in a nutshell. I'm appreciative of it because it wasn't normal. But now it's normal. The Little Mermaid was black. The new cast for iCarly, now don't get me wrong, it's not good because it's just never gonna hit the way it used to. But new cast for iCarly, there's black people in there. We're being represented more. So I like I said, I get where he's coming from, but at the end of the day, none of those match a torch. Don't let a torch to what I grew up on. So it's just like, I get where he's coming from. It's just, but if we started that way, where we already represented all ethnicities that live in the most diverse country in the world, then it'd be like normal. This wouldn't be a super exciting thing. It'd be like, oh, another Black Panther movie. Like, it'd just be like another movie. Like I said, I wouldn't put Black
You can't
Panther
say
in my
that
top
about
5.
Look, anime has played a great role in its community, but you rarely hear talks of Attack on Titan or One Piece having great impacts on the community as a whole.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right, man. Okay.
Maybe in
One Piece has one of the big One Piece, Dragon Ball, and even Naruto have some of the biggest impacts on the world. Some of those animes are part of the reason why you still see people today. Like it's transformed bullying. It's transforming the definition of being a nerd. It's transforming creative expression. It's transforming culture because we are some culture vultures, but it's transforming a lot of things. So I have no idea what he's talking about.
your little like anime reporter blog, you might hear that, but it's not coming in the New York Times.
Funny.
New York Times is no longer a thing anymore, brother. We're in 2025. There's no newspaper.
People watch things.
You mean the
for that
website?
general aspect of life. I think live action. Sorry, I'm talking, buddy. Live action in general isn't as much escapism as anime will ever be because they have more of a creative thing where they could literally make anything happen more than live action. As you said, and let's say Flow, for example, won Best Animation. How much did that cost to make? Probably about $100,000. And he was able to make that whole creative thing with animation. And he wouldn't have ever been able to make a cat having walking around
watch
the earth
that.
after a whole natural disaster
It's on
in
Netflix.
live action. It's not possible. And that's why I see the value in animation as more valuable. Obviously, live action is great.
Great film.
Yeah, great film. Oh, you watched it.
More money doesn't make it more better.
Hey, so you agree with me, huh? $4 million? Huh? Okay, what's Avengers Endgame?
No,
Like 107.
Avengers Endgame's like 100.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. And okay, continuing, I think just in general, animation, you can make super cool stories with that low budget, and I think that's the coolest thing. I think, let's say, Demon Slayer, for example, although people don't think it's the greatest thing, it had amazing animation and fight scenes that got people more hyped than some of these Avengers movies that cost like $1 billion.
Yes,
I don't know about that.
bro.
Me out, bro.
Oh my gosh, I was having this conversation at work one day, and we were talking about the new Avengers the new Marvel movie that's coming out, and no one gave up, but I was trolling and I said, yeah, but I bet you go to the movie theaters as Demon Slayer come out. And I mean, the whole tone of the conversation changed. Yes, they will go see that movie. Like, no one wants to see the same Fantastic Four, but made by a different person years ago now. Like, cause it jumped back. I mean, I heard a lot of people liked it, but no one wants to go rewatch Superman for the 10th time. With a new Superman? Do we have to really see a new person being Batman again every 10 years? Every 10 years we get a new Batman? Bro, every couple of years we get a new Spider-Man? Bro, no one cares unless it's Miles Morales. I will be watching a Miles Morales. I'm not gonna lie. But you cannot compare Western media to anything, bro. It is the definition of recycle, reuse, bro.
I got people there. Hey.
Unless it's horror.
I was cooking.
Cause they have to tap into new genres. They have to tap into new categories, or no one's watching.
Welcome back, scum.
Look at all these stories.
So your argument is that live action
My
is
argument
better.
is that it's both more impactful and it's cooler.
It's cooler?
Yeah.
In what way?
I disagree.
I want to know why before I get into it.
I would rather look at a real life person than an animated person. As I said earlier, I would rather see a fight scene in real life than in anime.
So you'd rather
I wanna
look
watch
at
Fight
a,
Club
you'd
so
rather watch
bad.
a movie,
See the bloody cheeks on a person from a live-action movie.
You'd rather watch Pedro Pascal in the same movie role 10 times over than seeing something with complete originality, with limitless budget and creativity.
I think there is a
There is so much more to animation than meets the eye.
This is just an opinion thing, though. Now, by the way, just let me clear the air here. But these are just opinions now. People can like live actions, and people can watch like animations and think it's better. People can think animation is better. People can think live action is better. I know people in my circle, for example, have a tendency, like for example, One Piece live action. That started a whole surge of people going, oh wait, there's a cartoon version of this and it's way further ahead. And then there's some people who won't watch anime at all. I actually know somebody specifically who's gonna watch season 2, but will probably never watch the anime. It's just this is just an opinion now. Like, I don't think I have a preference either or. I like both. Whatever makes me feel makes me feel.
We're having a good conversation.
The themes in anime are way more clear. Just look at Attack on Titan, One Piece. Just let me have one more point. You also have to go beyond just live action, like you prefer it. Just look at Hollywood. Maybe 30 years ago I'd agree with you, right? But right now, it's just
30 years ago,
and movies regulated and franchise. But then when you go to anime, let's say you don't like something, right? Let's say something doesn't resonate with you. You can just go on to the next.
There he goes.
And it has
with
just as much
music,
creativity and originality and passion, right? Because listen,
why is his shirt so
with a
stretched
Hollywood
out?
movie, people will go see a Leonardo DiCaprio movie despite it being bad or good, just because his face is on the poster. But with anime, you don't get to see that face. You don't get to see who's behind
who you're watching.
the voice.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so Gianni got voted out, and then he won 5 more minutes. No, here, wait. Finish your point.
I'm just saying, the people behind anime try harder to create something that resonates with a person because of the limitations they have, because it's behind animation. And that's why I say animation is better. Just look at Avatar: Last Airbender. That is not anime, but it's animation. Just look at Attack on Titan.
Ethan.
It was constructed in a certain way to encapsulate viewers because you don't know anything about these characters. But with live action movies, you recognize an actor.
I'm not even gonna lie. Look, I'm not even gonna lie. He cooked with that. Because look at the biggest problem in Hollywood over the past few years has been the ample amount of remakes and sequels and
Man, and we buy into it every time. I went to go see live action Lilo and Stitch, live action How to Train a Dragon. There's another one. Oh my God, live action Mermaid. I went to go see him, and then there's the remakes. There's the Supermans, the Batmans. I went to go see the Batman. I did not go and see Superman. I heard it was pretty good though, but I think I'm good off that. I ain't gonna lie. Superman's like, he's so OP, it makes him corny.
Right.
I think we all can agree
because
on
they know they
that.
can make money off that.
Which is
Anime,
crazy because
that's right. People have.
On the flip side, people like Goku because he's so OP, and it's like, does that make him a little corny? Maybe that's just me.
The budget for that creative freedom. And that's a fair point. I still think I would rather watch a live action movie, but that's a really great point about the creative freedom it gives.
I would end that debate with this is opinion.
I just needed to say my piece, all right? Screw you.
All right, but thank you.
It's just an opinion. There are people out there there's like people out there I know who just, they prefer real shit. Like, some people look at animation as cartoons. For them, it's just an umbrella. It's just cartoons. End of discussion. Like, you really be watching that cartoon shit? Like, it's just cartoons for them.
Hello again. Welcome back.
Kuma.
So I just want to clarify before I start. Your argument is live action will always be better than animation as a whole, correct?
I'm arguing that it looks cooler and it is more impactful.
All right, so with that in mind, I'm not going to give you my opinion. I'm going to give you a fact here. Are you familiar with Hamlet at all?
Right.
The Shakespeare story?
Play. Yes.
Well, if you look commercially, if you look at critic scores, the best version of Hamlet that has been put on film is Lion King. And that's not my opinion. That's based on the gross domestic.
He cooked. He cooked. I forgot about Lion King. No, I didn't forget about Lion King because my initial thought was like DreamWorks, Disney movies and stuff like that. Like, those are some of the biggest movies on the planet, and every single one of them are animated. He cooked though. I didn't even think about Lion King. That's like peak animation to America, bro. So dang, and that's animated.
That's not even me arguing the opinion. I don't have to. People have already done it. You see, the thing about animation is you're able to capture certain stories in a way that allows
Yeah, because
for
you ain't catching
Lion
Lion King. I ain't gonna lie, Mufasa was good. I like Mufasa, but the live action Lion King was mid. It was mid. They even had to go back and redact, and to that point, it was kind of like, dude, it was 20 years ago. Why are we remaking Lion King now? 20 years later. That movie came out a year or two after I was born, bro. I think I could be wrong. It could be earlier than that, but
How do I put this?
And it's funny you use Lion King as the example as a story that made more impact as anime, because I would actually disagree that Lion King has had a much greater impact as a Broadway show than it has as a film even, where it keeps getting seen more and more. And that is arguably a live action version of an animated film that people continue to experience.
If you're gonna
so is
argue
it
to
really
me-
just all anime that is the reason Lion King has been so impactful? Or is it
Broadway? But is theater the same as a live action movie? Would we put that in the same category? Because if we do put that in the same category, he cooked. He's right. I thought that's where homie Mr. Bartholomew Kuma was going to go. I thought he was going to say, technically speaking, Broadway, theatrical, that's better. But if he's right, then he's right.
You're arguing to me that the Broadway musical of Lion King has been seen more than the film. I can go pull up the stat. I know that's not true. And I was a theater.
Hold on, is he right
or
though?
is it a live action version?
Because I went to go see the Lion King live action. I ain't gonna lie. And I'm not talking about the theater movie. I'm talking about them on ice. Okay, so Broadway is a live action. I have to Google it. He's right. He cooked.
Of an animated film that people continue.
It has
to
6 billion.
experience.
It's
So is it really
it's
just
stacked it
all anime that is
5
the reason
times.
Lion King has been so impactful, or
If
is
you're
it live
arguing to
action
me
and anime?
that the Broadway musical of Lion King has been seen more than the film, I can go pull up the stat. I know that's not true.
You're wrong.
And
Unfortunately.
I was a theater kid. I loved the Lion King Broadway show. However, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's gotten more views, it's gotten a better critical reception, because at the end of the day, it didn't. The
My
original
point is
one-
more, though, in your one example of anime being incredibly impactful, it still has played a role, live action and both.
Alright.
And people love still seeing that great story. It was such a great anime story, right, that people had to see it in person.
So let
to
me
make
give you a
it better.
second example then, because you're saying I'm going off the point. How about this? There has not been a Spider-Man film that has been more commercially successful than Into the Spider-Verse. That has been better received by critics than Into the Spider-Verse.
Okay.
Both of which was done because, unfortunately, a human being cannot swing around like Spider-Man like an animation
That's
can.
fine. They animated Lord of the Rings in the 20th century, right? No one watches that because they made live action versions of that are the most epic movie trilogy
Well, it's 'cause
ever.
it started
We're also
that
talking
way.
about the studio with the budget of a ham sandwich who made it. We're not talking about someone like Sony, someone like Disney, who, if they were to get the rights to do it, I'm sure would be better. Let's also look, talking about Lord of the Rings, the most recent Amazon series, which was live action, didn't do very good commercially. Are you going to say that because of that, that one I think might arguably be actually lower reviewed than the original animation? So now we're back to the animation did better than the live action version.
Well, no. With the trilogy is obviously the most successful, whether it's The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings.
Can you think of another one that started as a animation that did better in live action? Because we can go to Disney. Let's see, Snow White did better as the animation. Aladdin did better as the animation. Beauty and the Beast did better as the animation. So we're seeing time and time again that when a story is starting as an animation, it's getting converted over.
Thank you! I need to know what he's going to say back to that because, yes, Disney Princesses is peak animation for America, apparently, bro. Let's see what he got to say.
Over to live action.
Look at his face. He's like, he pulled off the Disney princesses. He talked about the Disney princesses. I wasn't going to talk about the Disney princesses. I was going to avoid the Disney princesses, bro. They're all animated.
It's clearly not doing as good.
They're all
You
animated.
can say you like the film. You can say, oh,
He's one of those people who likes Harry Potter. I gotta watch that series and see if I like it, bro.
But at the end of the
I
day,
gave Star
if
Wars a
we're
chance.
using
I didn't like
facts
it.
and facts alone,
It's just not my cup
the
of tea.
critics are saying that that is objectively better based on average
Moana.
reviews. And if we're going off
Hold on,
of
let's go.
real
Moana, Mulan, Aladdin. There's a bunch of Aladdins. Princess and the Frog. The classics like Beauty and the Beast. Like he said, Snow White. I don't know which one Aurora's from. Cinderella. You got cooked, buddy.
income, those
got
movies,
cooked.
the animations have made more
Pocahontas.
than the live
That's
action
fine, but if you
versions.
go and look up the
Pocahontas
top
was life-changing for some
100
people.
shows or top 100 movies of all time, you're probably not seeing much anime on there.
Boom. The Godfather, The Dark Knight, Schneider's List, 12 Angry Men. This sucks because I only know 2 on the top 5 already. I never watched this. It's just not a category I can get into, unfortunately. The Godfather Part 2. Inception was good. I never seen this. I want to watch it so bad. I want to watch this. It's so many people's favorite movie. I can't find it legally to watch it or pay for it or whatever. Forrest Gump. I still don't understand this movie. I don't know why this is on. You know what this section looks like though? These are originals, by the way. An original could really do that. I'm surprised this is up here though. I'm surprised. Dead ass. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I don't remember what that's about, but I think I've seen that. Fuck the Lord of the Rings. Interstellar is so good. The Matrix is so good. Poo poo. I think I've seen this, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, maybe not. The Silence of the Lamb. So good, actually. It was actually really good. It's a good horror movie. The Green Mile. These are all rated R. I just want to say all the greatest movies of all time seem to be rated R for the most part. I see a couple PG-13. Spirited Away is on here, bro. What? What? I didn't think I would see any anime. And that wasn't like to troll what he said. I just mean in general, I didn't think I would see any. Spirited Away is on the top 100? Whoa. Is this live action? See, this is the one I watched, like the old school stuff. My dad liked it. Life is Beautiful, Seven Samurai. Ooh, interesting. Gladiator, Departed, Parasite really is in the top 100? Whoa. Dune? I heard Dune got good after the first one, but the first one was so boring I couldn't foresee getting through the second one. Django was good. I'm not gonna lie. That shit hit different, I ain't gonna lie. Spider. This is in the top 100? Top 50? Alien? Why is The Lion King not on here? Oh, okay. I was about to say this list is fake. This list is fake, bro. This list is fake, but it's real. It's real. Hold on, I gotta keep going. I gotta see the 100. I gotta see the 100. Ew, Avengers Endgame. You know what? It was a good movie. I'm just hating because I'm not really a Marvel fan anymore. Because it's on recycle or repeat, and you're not getting my money anymore, bro. I need you to go out of business so you can do something new. I'm not gonna lie. But Endgame was good. I remember watching Infinity War and not liking it, though. The Shining. Oh, peak horror movie. So good. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is on here twice. The first and the second one made it on here. I was so pissed to find out that there was going to be a third movie. Really? Your Name made it on here? He's wrong. Coco's on here. Wally's on here. It's not anime, but it's animated. I'm looking for a specific movie. I'm not gonna lie to you. Joker's on here. I guess the first Joker was pretty good. It just this don't even fit in the category of People Among It. Toy Story, hey, classic. Star Wars. Toy Story 3. I think Toy Story all the way up till 3 were good. The first one, the second one, and the third one were really good. All right. I don't know a bunch of the movies, but since there are some ones that I can completely agree with, I don't disagree with this list. It can't be that far off. Cannot be that far off.
And I think that's
he's wrong. He's wrong. He said you don't think he'll see very much anime, and I guess out of 100, there's so many genres out there that but there was more than one, so.
It's important to
I
consider
think that's a
when we're
good
talking
average
about
as far as it not even being an American thing. That's important right there. Is that it's not an American thing. You know what I mean? Like that's a whole nother culture, and it managed to be so good that it became valuable in a whole nother country. I feel like that's a plus. That's just like having, I guess not technically, because a lot of people think America is like a Caucasian country when it's just not. There's Hispanic people here, loads of Hispanics, loads of Asian individuals, there's loads of Eastern people, and I don't mean Californians, I mean like Middle Easterns. There's loads of Africans, there's loads of Americans, Black Americans. I'm not a Black American, I'm an American, because we don't call white people white Americans. There's loads of ethnicities and cultures here, so I don't know.
Of these shows
This
versus
whole
anime
thing
versus
just
not
made
in
racism
the
be
grand
more
scheme of
apparent to
things.
me. It's so insane.
I think that's good.
I'm getting tired, man. Good point, though. Our last topic is anime will never be mainstream.
3, 2, 1.
He's already wrong. Toonami is mainstream anime. It's Naruto, Dragon Ball, One Piece. Those are mainstream animes. He's wrong already. Look at these weebs when they watch around the table.
Good. Why do you
I
think
would be in a
anime will
chair
never be
or a
mainstream,
fireman for
even though
sure.
I kind of think it already is.
Anime will never be mainstream. Again, let's go back to what we were talking about last time. When we talk about some of our most famous shows and most impactful pieces of cinema and film and television, not necessarily anime. At least they're far in the minority, right? That's one factor. Two, I think it goes back to a lot of the rest of our conversation we've had. That
I think he lost track of his argument there. He said it's not the most popular, which he's wrong. So we got to see that. But this right here is the argument that it will never be mainstream, even though it is mainstream, fortunately. That's how most of us at a young age discovered it. It's because we saw it on TV and we should be asleep at midnight, but we stayed up a couple hours and realized that Toonami exists. Somebody drop him with the Toonami
anime
bomb,
community,
please.
while it is big,
Why do I feel like I'm the only person who
expansive,
knows about
it's
that?
isolated. And because of that,
Oh, that's an Attack on Titan
would argue
necklace, I
that
think.
it can't be a mainstream topic.
I can go in reverse and say that although you may think it's isolated, it's kind of expanding ever so slightly, and
Not
in many
slightly,
ways
it's
even.
expanding
Now,
dramatically.
conventions, of course, being hosted here and there. There are many more niche events other than just conventions being hosted now in different areas, such as like nightclubs and stuff. They kind of have like nights dedicated
DreamCon.
to like animes and cosplay, or
Another convention?
again,
My
more
bad.
kind of.
Do people who are not part of the community attend these events, though?
Why would they?
I feel like
right?
it's mutuals. I feel like possibly yes, because what would happen is a lot of fans will go and be like, "Oh, I got a friend. We'll bring them along," and they may as well just put them on that.
Let's put
But
it
in the
this way.
sense of-
I got a lot of friends here who enjoy anime. I don't think I've ever been invited to go to an anime event with any of them. So
Are you fun at parties?
All right, you got me.
But I got you. Okay, there we go. But I will say that it is.
I'm wearing a suit to debate people about anime. Do you think I'm fun at parties?
Well, some people got a little fun shirt on the bottom. What you got underneath?
All right, we're gonna yeah.
There's nothing
You can play that game, dog.
But I will say though, it is plenty mainstream enough. I mean, let's start.
I know when I go to
and, you
anime
know, let's-
conventions, people don't think I belong there. And it's like, I have a Spike Spiegel tattoo on my arm, bro. I also have a Fooly Cooley tattoo on my arm. I also have an Akira tattoo on my arm. I also have a Chainsaw Man tattoo on my arm. There's a Hello Kitty on my arm. There's literally Luffy on my arm. Hold on. He's in there. Like,
Let's go with the Vegas Sphere.
it's just an
As of
aesthetic.
recently, actually, there's been a lot of footage that they've been promoting.
They
a One Piece
expect
on that insane.
all of us anime fans
Let's start. Footage that they've been promoting.
look-
as of recent.
They expect all of us to look like this. There's nothing wrong with bro's fit. Nothing at all. It's just we don't all look like that. We can like anime and not wear clothes that represent the fact or express that we like anime.
Recently,
I like
actually,
color
there's
and
been a lot of
anime
footage
is
that
super
they've been
colorful.
promoting
So
a One Piece on that insanely. I mean, like I think every few hours in the day they'll play a promo featuring a different character each time, and I think it was like 90-something scenes at once at the same time, kind of spiraling around it. I mean, that's the Vegas Sphere. That's already a big thing enough. And that's not enough for you. Irvine Spectrum recently had a collab with Gundam,
Which
and
is
they kind of have this whole
cool.
like timeline Gundam verse. And I'd gone there myself about 2 times. Dude, it was packed all the time. people kind of lining up for the event, people buying at early access, flying in from different states, and that was all also coming alongside the movie that had come out recently for the new Gundam movie, basically. And on the topic of movies as well, some anime movies have been nominated for Oscars. I'm not sure if they won or not, but being nominated for an Oscar is grand enough. I mean, that's a huge opportunity to win.
What's the cat movie called again? Flow. Yeah, that was nominated for. That won. Right? Yeah, that won.
It won. Wow, there you go. You see.
There you go.
You just proved my point.
And that happens, but few and far between, right? And look,
That's because Americans are stuck in their way.
Anime to.
I heard that Donald Trump's trying to ban anime. Is that true? Oh wow! How do you do that?
More wind in the creative space, but
How do you
it
do
just
that?
doesn't, right? You're talking about these events that probably a lot of people attend and are happening, but where are they being talked about? Where are they being covered? The point is, right?
Everywhere. You're looking in the. It feels like it's everywhere. He's just looking in the wrong direction at all times. At all times in every scenario for all these arguments, he's in the wrong spot at all times. You could just be a person who's in the wrong spot at all times.
Mainstream media. It's out.
That's all good. Thank you.
You did great.
Thank you guys.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, this time I'll actually shake
Stop
your
smacking
hand.
his butt.
Okay,
shake my
no, I will shake your hand this time because I think you did. You made some points, right?
Points.
I think anime is already mainstream because of one reason, right? What is the go-to streaming platform to watch your shows? Like one of them.
Netflix.
Yeah, perfect. Netflix. And guess what was the third most watched show of the entire year in 2023? I'm saying 2023 as the main example.
Sure. What was it?
One Piece. And it had 500 million views, the live action one. Okay, but everyone knows the live action. But right, how is that not mainstream enough if it's the third most watched show of the entire year?
One Piece is a mainstream piece of media. I'm not going to
And anime, what is One Piece? It's anime.
It's an anime, right? But it doesn't mean that.
It's mainstream. Like what? Okay, I'll do another point. Okay. Look, every single time. Are you guys done? Wait, give me 1 more second.
The problem is. Hey. This is the problem with the anime community right here.
Look at all these weebs waving.
You didn't even let me finish. You went off stage. That's crazy. Do you even want to hear it?
All right, next person up in 3, 2, 1.
So I'm gonna bring up the point that I'll do it myself. Anime is actually already mainstream, and so to go off Aiden's point,
It was mainstream
he uses
long
Netflix,
ago.
right? It's not actually just Netflix. It's Hulu. It's Disney Plus. It's
Crunchyroll.
almost every big streaming company right now is fighting for the rights to get anime on board. Right, so you saying that it'll never be mainstream? It's made huge movement to becoming mainstream, and I would argue that it's still actually is.
Why is no
mainstream
one
right
bringing
now.
up Toonami?
I could also bring up
None of these guys watched anime for real, bro. What?
the point that you have major. You said you
What?
don't see anime on a day-to-day basis, but you have major.
Adult
companies right
Swim
now
after hours.
that
Y'all
do
really went to bed at midnight?
collaborations to promote their brands using animation or
Yeah,
anime.
like the
For
Lakers game?
example,
Oh, yeah,
the
that.
Lakers, right? The Lakers did a collab with One Piece. I would say
Yeah,
that's
Luffy was dunking.
a pretty standard everybody knows the Lakers. You have big companies like Nike.
Yeah, no, these are true.
Vans,
These are true.
Many more designer brands. I'm pretty sure have done anime collaborations.
It's mainstream
I
as
would argue
hell.
that in itself is mainstream.
That is mainstream, and that's the best argument I've heard so far.
I was gonna say that, y'all.
Yeah, but you got mad and left. So you lost. Anyway, problem is, you guys can have as much attention and be in the mainstream as you want, but you're still a weird, isolated community. Right? You're all still in your anime bubble. You're all still just there, right? Okay. You're all still jerking each other off and whatever.
Curb down the obscenities. Curb down the obscenities.
And
Realistically, though, if you take the anime out of it, they have the same subdivision of nerds in every single category. There's total normal people who like anime in your everyday life, like Duke Dennis, for example, Kai Sinat, for example. If you want to go Tony Sadavici, for example, any of RDC, Berlin, Corey Kinshin, there's these normal people who like anime. There's me. We were completely normal. I ain't fucking normal. There's completely normal people that like anime. But there's always going to be a subdivision of a little dorky nerd kid. They have the same thing in any Marvel movie. And same for, especially in the Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, Star Wars franchise. They're still in their dorky little bubble. All the same. I don't know what he's talking about.
Because of the way the community is
He's just one of the people who looks normal. But for all we know, throw some glasses on him, throw some pimples on him, and maybe make him a little pudgier. He'd be just as, maybe grow his hair out too, and not wash his armpits. There's the same amount of nerdy people in every. This argument sucks.
Of the community, it's just it's difficult for someone like me to be like, oh yeah, those people have a lot of influence over culture.
Okay.
Because I would
I
say
can say
they
the
don't.
same thing for you. Anybody who watches
you
The
brought up
Hobbit.
some pretty extreme points there. What I will say to those points, those are the like very extreme. But just because something is perceived to be weird to you doesn't mean that
It's not about it being perceived weird to me. It's about how those perceptions, which are widespread and matter, affect the way everyone else engages with it, right?
Yeah.
I wish it was more like that. All right, thank you, everyone. Disclaimer, I actually don't hate anime. I just don't watch it. But thank you, everyone, for coming. It was a great debate.
Yeah, he had to throw that disclaimer out there. Bro was about to get fried in the comment sections. Let me read them comments, actually. This is actually Rage Bait, LMAO. It actually is. I agree 100%. But went from anime is for kids to anime is over sexualized. Right, thank you! Thank you! Those are polarizing arguments. Those don't even go together. Let me move my head so we could look at the comments together. Let's not forget that he wasn't there for them to convince him. He was there to tell them that they were wrong and he was right. Yeah, see, that's what I started to realize maybe after the first question. It was just like, we're just bullshitting right now. There are a few anime series that are made for kids. That's what I was saying. The list is very, 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 very small, ironically. Considering the size of the anime list, like from A to Z, that list is, I don't even know, millions. It's infinite, for real. How can you argue with him? He doesn't present arguments, only his opinion. You can't argue with an opinion. Exactly. That's my point. I'm like, these are just opinions at this point. He kept saying I. That's his opinion. And if he can have one, anybody can have one. Yeah, I don't think he chose his takes. I don't think he chose his takes based on his first reaction that anime is for kids. He even asked him if that's what he's supposed to say. That's what it feels like. This right here. Yeah, I agree. I think this is what exactly it was. Based on like his arguments not being good or valid or even true to his own opinion. I'm gonna give it a like though. I watched the whole thing. Fire 10 out of 10. I just saw that on the internet, and I have a habit of enjoying things in my peace and quiet and personal time when I could totally make it into a YouTube video. So why the freak not? I might add another one on here because I just see 20 women versus one anime man. I feel like that'd be fire. Anyways, if you agree with anything he says, put it in the comment section so that I could fry you later, because that was 100% rage bait. I don't think he believes in almost anything that he said. Overall, all his opinions are wrong. All those opinions aren't true. But in turn, all those opinions are opinions, so you can have one. And then, and also, all of them do have some truth to it. They don't just come from nothing. It comes from an experience he had, and that's the reason why he would rather not watch it or pursue it, because it comes from some truth. Cartoons or things that are animated will appeal more towards kids, but does it make it for kids? No. Is it over sexualized? It can be, but no, not dominantly. Is it will it never be mainstream? That one's just full blown wrong. It is mainstream already. I mean, Luffy was at the Lakers game. Luffy was at a baseball game. Luffy has taken over the world since the live action One Piece, no cap. Yeah. Anime is anime. Oh, and One Piece has also consumed the fashion side. It's insane. So, yeah, overall I think we know that was all rage bait. But it was fun. It was fun to watch. And I love any chance I get to talk about anime. And I guess politics, because it did turn very political for me. But if you enjoy it, like, comment, subscribe. If you disagree or agree, put it in the comments so I can fry your ass, because I love a good debate, bro. Until I'm wrong. But I have no problem admitting that I'm wrong. So, I'm going to catch you on the next one. Peace, bro. Oh, my God. Peace, bro.